As a person who has loved cars ever since youth, what you're seeing here is not just any car. This is an important piece of my childhood. But before that, I should probably give a bit more context. Saturday, 6th of January, 2018. Your boy was just chilling in his room like the lazy failure that he is. But yeah, it was the school holidays anyways, so then I forgot. Oh right, yeah, I suddenly got a text message from my dad asking if I wanted to go out with his friend for coffee that afternoon. And me, with nothing to do, agreed. He then told me that he would take us in a rather interesting car, something called an Impala. Well, at the time I didn't know what that was, as I was just the usual kid interested in Nissan GTRs and Porsche 911s. That was until I heard a thunderous growl of an engine coming from outside. I remember instantly rushing downstairs, then outside, to the sight of this gorgeous, awe-inspiring, just all-out beautiful white on black old Chevrolet waiting for us outside. And I have never fallen in love with a car so quickly before. Actually, come to think of it, 2018 sounds quite recent, but at the same time, that was over 6 years ago. I just finished elementary school at that time, and now I'm in my final year of high school. Damn, I'm no longer young. I actually still keep a picture of myself with this car from that Saturday afternoon. I mean, to be honest, it's not that good of a picture, mainly because there's me in it. But I still keep this picture to this day, and I don't intend on deleting it anytime soon. I actually remember making a video about this car a few years back when I still made car reviews, which if you haven't seen that video, I would recommend you not to watch that video to save yourself from the secondhand embarrassment. But I guess I should still give some specifics about this car. It's a Chevrolet Impala 4-door sports sedan from 1959. 65 years of age, and it is still looking very fresh. Although it wasn't actually always like this, the owner went through the real Forza Horizon player Banfine experience. He actually bought the car in pretty rough shape and has since then restored it back to its former glory. Rather tastefully, if I do say so myself, with a red interior, Foose wheels, and a small block V8 from a Corvette. Now, the reason why I say this car is an important piece of my childhood is because this was the car that fueled my main interest in cars, that being classics. If you follow my Instagram, you may notice that most of the cars that I feature are classic cars, and you may also notice that this is the car that I feature the most. It's the car that I've taken pictures of more than any other car. Matter of fact, this car indirectly caused the creation of this YouTube channel. It was that ignited love towards classic cars that made me want to share the beauty of these things to the world. So even if the first car that I officially made a video of was a 1936 Ford, the reason why I wanted to make that video in the first place was this very car. I think it's kind of weird actually that I, a kid who is still in his teens actually, am more interested towards these, I guess, old cars. And you may feel the same way too, because I know people of my age and a lot of my friends, they're more interested towards the more modern sports cars and supercars. But there's just something about classics that is really intriguing. You know that weird feeling you get when you're seeing something that has existed far before you have. And as a car enthusiast, it is really interesting to see just how bold car designs were back then. Just some of the features that were revolutionary at the time these cars were still new. And this car really shows that, you know, with the large fins and all the chrome. And you have to admit though, it does look good. Of course, it's not just all about looks, but it's also about the experience that this car gives. Of course, it makes me happy. But what's amazing about this car is how it makes other people happy as well. You know, every time we take this car out for a spin on the roads, we're always greeted with smiles, waves, all of these thumbs ups. And every time I go out to take pictures of this car, often people will come up to me and they will ask if they can take a picture with this car. And you know, although this isn't my car, I still feel that unsurpassable level of pride and joy as if it were my own. Of course, this car isn't perfect. It has its flaws, it has its issues, it gets cranky a lot, but I guess that's a charm in itself. And although this may not be the fastest, you know, the most powerful, most reliable or comfy car, my admiration towards it hasn't changed. Actually, as much as I love this car and always want to see it, to visit it, I don't really think I have that much time left with this car, because in less than a year, I will be moving abroad for university. So whether or not I will return is still a mystery, but if I don't, that means seeing this car will be a very rare occurrence for me. So that is why, you know, while I'm still here, while I still have the time, I want to make as many memories as I can with this car, take as many pictures as I can, take it out for a spin every once in a while, and heck, that's also the reason why I'm making this video, just so that when I'm away, at least a part of this car and everything else will still be with me. I guess from this video you can see just how people can form personal bonds with seemingly inanimate objects. Like, I mean, it's a cool car, but a lot of people say that, yeah, it's just a car. Well, to me at least, it isn't. This car made my childhood slightly more awesome than it would have been. And I guess this might sound kind of corny, but it's less of I drive this car, it's more of this car drives me. It drives me to one day own a special car of my own, something that makes me happy, but also makes someone else's day as well. I remember one time we were filling this car up at a petrol station, and suddenly this kid, a young boy, ran to the front of the car. And when I looked further, there was his dad taking a picture of this boy with the car. I want a car that can do that someday. Someday. One day. One day.